hi to everybody. This is not part of the speech, but it's just so incredible to see everyone here today. I feel like this is a party for my dad, but I also feel like I'm seeing my whole life here as well, and I'm in awe and just amazed at seeing everybody. It's you can't imagine how excited we are really to see everyone here today. It's very exciting for us. So first of all, we're very happy to be here from Israel, to be here for our father's 70th birthday. When I told people that I was coming to Australia for my father's 70th, no one believed me. They were like, there is no way, your dad does not look 70. And they're right, my dad looks very young, and he is young. He's young in body and heart. He's still trekking up mountains in New Zealand and has a very busy schedule.
Growing up, we were very lucky to have a dad that provided a great sense of stability and consistency in our lives. Dad was always there to provide for our family. Mum and Dad never spoke about business in front of us and always united on everything, even if one disagreed, which could be quite annoying. We grew up in an environment that made us feel warm and safe and gave us a sense of security.
Our childhood was full of life. One of our favourite memories were our days spent in Waikanae, our beach house, about an hour away from Wellington with the Wisers, and many of you here today. Dad was always firing up the barbecue, taking us horse riding on Peka Peka Beach, and fruit picking. There was no television, but lots of life.
We were young and we felt so free, so we really want to say to Mum and Dad that we have very happy childhood memories. I've also been very lucky to share a special relationship with my dad. We've been trekking in so many different places in the world, in Nepal, sleeping outside under the stars in Central Australia. We've trekked through New Zealand, we've travelled through India. That was very interesting, wasn't it, Dad? And our favourite trip was a special trip that we went to Borneo with Tamara. And Dad organised the most amazing backpacking experience, better than we could have organised ourselves.
Which included trekking to a remote tribe, staying in a jungle lodge with only 3 walls, which my mother would never have done, a world music festival in a rainforest, and a homestay with a surprise tantric master, hardcore Sandakan Dad.
Okay. Often when we were walking in remote places, Dad would tell me all the stories about his childhood, growing up with Uncle Barry, and we discuss all the questions of life. So, Dad, these are very treasured memories for me and some of the greatest memories of my life.
One of the things I love about our father, Robert, Bob, or everything else you call it, Dad knows how to enjoy the simple things in life. I think we can all agree to that. He'd rather camp or sleep in a hut than a 5-star hotel, like my mother. He loves walking on the beach, in the forest, or anywhere where there's a track. And he prefers to drive modest cars. Kind of.
Once we were in Borneo and we'd been trekking for hours through the hot jungle. The whole way back, Dad told us about this amazing laksa soup that we would have on our return. We were dreaming about this real Malaysian laksa. When we arrived back, we sat down for the soup, and it was no other than Maggi noodle soup, out of the pack, and my dad loved it. We were not happy.
So there's this idea that when it's very cold, and there are 2 ways to warm yourself, and you're stuck out in a rainforest somewhere, or somewhere where it's very cold, one way to warm yourself up is by putting on a fur coat and warming yourself up. The other way is by lighting a fire. And the difference is that the fur coat only warms people wearing it, but a fire is something that warms and nurtures everyone around it. And Dad is someone who lights a fire for people around him. Not only does he take care of his family, but he also cares about people beyond himself.
You can't imagine in the last 2 weeks since I've been back, how many people have come up to me and said, "Oh, I love your mum and dad. They are such good people. They are so sweet." And really, my dad is beginning to get a reputation for helping people, and he wants to help. And Dad, he just wants to help people wherever he goes.
In Borneo, while we were going to sleep one night, Dad would stay up giving business advice to the owner of the rundown guest house. Remember Jim's place, Dad?
Just recently in Israel, Dad walked into a printing business in the office block that I work in, and tried to explain to the owner of the business how to expand and grow his printing business and which printers he should be using.
This happens everywhere. Even on Ashdod Beach, where Dad offered to sponsor this guy to come back to Australia to be a chef, and offered him advice on his life and his career.
And the shit.
And then he offered me. And that's happened more than once.
Dad's giving nature is an action. We have always grown up with tzedakah being an important value. From as early as we can remember, Dad went blue box collecting in Wellington and Sydney, raising money for charities that supports Israel. He encouraged us to give tzedakah and continued to be a generous supporter of the community.
One of the things he's done more recently over the last few years is he's committed to Meals on Wheels, which he does on a weekly basis. And he doesn't just drop the food off and treat it as like a chore, but he actually stops and talks to the people and makes them feel warm and comfortable and asks them questions and makes them feel like someone actually cares about them. And I know this because I've actually been with him, and it was quite an experience for me to sort of see Dad interact with these people like that, because sometimes he's the only person they'll see all day.
Dad was also one of the first people, one of the first to organise the Pesach food collection at Coles for Jewish House, and also raised a substantial amount of money for Jewish Care by asking people to sponsor him when he walked the Kokoda Trail.
His latest passion is working for the B'nai B'rith Bargain Bazaar, which raises money for charities. Dad doesn't just work there, he puts his heart into collecting items from people's homes, deceased estates, and any second-hand shop he walks into. Yesterday while I was at Shabbat lunch, a lady was having lunch with us, and she said that she goes to the shop a lot. And she told me that Dad doesn't like work there. He goes out on the street and he spruiks. And one time there were these two guys, and he found out they were going to the beach. So he says, do you need some towels? And then he goes, well, do you need some buckets and spades? So then finally he gets out of them a deposit for 2 of the paintings. I mean, it was only $2, but they put a $2 deposit and they said they'll be back.
And also, as many of you know, most recently, my dad has been instrumental in organising 2 containers of clothing as a relief effort for the survivors of a hurricane in the Philippines.
Dad always tells me that he learnt from his mother, it's better to give with a warm hand than a cold hand. And this my dad certainly does. He has taught us the value of being generous and to give a bit extra.
He also knows how to look after people. We saw this in how he ran his business for over 20 years, and some of his employees who are still there are still there.
Something else that we've really learned from our family, and something that's very important to my dad, is very strong family values. And we learned this by Dad's example when he looked after our grandma Finny, his mother, and also our Orma, our mother's mother, which he looked after with such commitment and real care. And he brought them both over to live with us in Australia. And he visited them consistently wherever they were, in their home, if they were in hospital, or if they were at the Montefiore. Dad was like an example of how to look after one's parents, so we'll do it too.
If you come to Israel, no, just joking. We're in a continual debate with Mum about the Montefiore home. Whatever. Actually, Dad didn't just visit Granny at the Monty. He struck up a rapport with many of the lonely ladies, residents. He would make cheeky jokes with the ladies, making them feel young and alive. In fact, Dad had quite a group of girlfriends and cared about making everyone smile. When Granny passed away, Dad continued to make the trip to the Monty to visit his ladies, especially Esther mein Schwester.
Dad also has a long and lasting friendship with his brother Barry. Oh, there he is. Uncle Barry. It's so great to see and inspiring to see both of you, how you connect for so long over all these years. And they speak regularly on the telephone. They've trekked through the Amazon, and more recently they took a 10-day cruise in Tahiti together.
Something else that I'll take away from my childhood is the importance of eating meals together. My dad has a saying, A family that eats together, stays together.
So long as it was Hungarian. Once we begged Dad to go to an Indian place, but Friday night dinner had to be Hungarian. Or the Hakao Club.
It was important for Dad to raise us with a strong traditional home. At Shabbos dinners, we had many fiery rounds of the same topics every week. Mum and Dad, you know what they are. Dad loved singing Shabbos songs and always insisted on us benching. We really didn't want to bench, but we did it just to appease him.
Once when we were walking in New Zealand, I asked Dad what he thought about all of us children becoming religious. And he put his arm around me and he said to me, if anyone ever asks you what we think, you tell them we're delighted. So thank you for all your support. It's not always been easy, but I bet you never thought we'd go this far, eh?
So the story goes that behind every great man there's a greater woman. And at this point I'd like to recognize the incredible support and the lengths that my mother has gone to make this trip from Israel for all of us to be here and this party today.
You can't imagine what my mother has done to make the kitchen kosher, right Mum? And to accommodate us, which has really been able to bring our family together.
She has organised the most amazing dinners every night, an abundance of toys, crafts and trips for the kids, not to mention the daily en masse shopping. Last week they were 2 and now they're 13. It's like being back in Beitar camp. Mum, you're so amazing and you really held our family together and continue to do so.
Palmerston North and Wellington, friends from primary school, Habanim camps, Rongatai College, milking sheep on Kibbutz Yisrael, dating days in Sydney, and of course, all of his wonderful close friends today that share meals, travel adventures, and simchas with him. I'm used to this, don't worry. I got 4. It's a testimony to how loved my father is and how strong these friendships are that endure to this very day.
Dad, we all love you and we've learned so much from you. And we love Shmuley too. Shmuley, we love you. We're honoured and we're very glad that you're our dad and part of our lives. Thank you for everything that you've given us and that you continue to give us.
Dad, I love you from the bottom of my heart. And we'd not be living these lives that we have without you. And we really wouldn't be the people that we are today. And all the stories and things that we've been talking about are really things that stick with us as your children and have been ingrained in our minds as the type of father that we have. So thank you.
One time a man went to Lubavitcher Rebbe to ask for a bracha, and he didn't know what he was asking for. And the Rebbe said to him, one of the most important brachas that a person can receive is that he gets nachas from his children. It has not been easy for my parents that we all live in Israel. We are so lucky that they come and visit us and stay in Israel up to 3 weeks, and they come sometimes 6 weeks, 2 months, sorry. Sometimes Shmuley and baby Esther Malka. We appreciate all your efforts and we hope that you receive an abundance of nachas from us. Add Mayor string to 120.
Okay, before we go, we have some messages from the kids. So kids, come up, it's your time.
Do you go up, Shmuley? Do you want to go up?
Everybody stand up.
You go, Shmuley?
Shmuley, we've got a question for you. Okay, you guys. Batsy, come on up. Picks you up. Is he A, your king, B, your slave, C, a soldier, or D, a policeman?
Slave.
And when he picks you up from school, what does he do?
Times tables.
And what does he buy you? Good. Chaya Bracha. What does Papa Bobby do for you every morning?
Sings me a song.
And gives you a
Hug.
good. Batsy, come. You want to do a question? No. Okay. Where's Shmuley? Oh, Shmuley. Come stand with me. Where does Papa Bobby take you on Fridays? Where does he?
To the beach.
Yeah, to the beach. That's right. Now, each child wants to say the thing that they love the most about Papa Bobby, and we're going to start with Ellie.
The thing about the most I love about Papa Bobby is that we do times table and he showed me where the Knesset is.
Good. Okay, your turn. Stand around.
Every time when Papa Bobby when I'm waiting for Papa Bobby, so every time he does like this to me and then I guess who it is and every time I say Papa Bobby.
Yeah. And there's many more things that they all love. Anyway, that's us. Thanks.
Shmuley wants to say it.
Shmuley wants to say what?
You want to say hello, Papa?
You want to say something? No. Okay.
Hi everyone, thanks for coming to celebrate with me today. It's good to be with my closest family and friends. A special thank you to Peter and Doris for offering this wonderful setting for today's party. You all know that we have a very close friendship with the Wise family. We go back to Wellington and to our parents' friendship. But there are some things that I can finally reveal to you all. It's called the Neighbourhood Rose Bay Watch. Peter unanimously voted himself chairman, treasurer and secretary of our strata block as he wanted to be in control. It worked well, I must say. However, I'm not all that happy about the constant special levies to pay for AGMs and extraordinary general meetings at the 21 with generous schnitzel portions, wines and pancakes. Peter runs the meetings very smoothly, which is more than can be said about his daily working life. Downstairs we call him Regular Pete. Between 7:15 and 7:28 each morning there is a flood of something gushing down within our apartment walls. It's either heavy teeth brushing or other ablutions, because at punct 7:24 the lift bells ring. Down he goes, punct 7:28, up go the garage doors, punct 7:30, the limousine rolls out into New Southend Road. No, really, Pete and Doris, Sylvia and I appreciate our long and enduring friendship with both of you, and long may it last. We've had a very enduring friendship since we built 623, no arguments or bad blood, an ideal situation. If I could write a book about my 70 years, it would be called A Fortunate Life. Somehow, everything has worked out just fine. Baruch Hashem, as my kids would just say. Family, business, friends, health, and of course, my Sylvia. My darling Sylvia, I first met in 1970. That was her room number. We were married in 1971. I'm not saying Sylvia had last-minute doubts, but under the chuppah she promised to love, honour and oy vey. You will all agree. You will all agree we make a great team. Sylvia and I do everything together. Last week she took up gym, tennis, running, and booked a ski holiday in the same week. She has a tennis serve no one can return. It always hits the net first. Sylvia also loves skiing. She can ski for hours on end. In fact, that's her normal position. But seriously, Sylvia, you've arranged a great life for our family for the past 42 years. and culminating in this amazing party for me. Sylvia goes to the nth degree, and puts in 100% effort into whatever she does. She has inner strength, warmth, charm, and is a lot of fun. That is why her Hebrew name is Simcha. I truly appreciate all you do for me and the family. I'm probably not the easiest person to live with. What with rising early to go on early morning walks and the alarm going off at 5:30, snoring my head off every night, and nagging you to come on walks. I truly thank you for everything you've done for me and our family. And today, you look so young and youthful. I can't wait for my 80th. Keep it up. And how terrific to have all my children and grandchildren here from Israel for the past 2 weeks to be with me. Grandkids don't make me feel old. It's the knowledge that I'm married to a grandmother. Which brings me to the special introductions from the top down, and we've met all of them. My oldest and firstborn, Sarah, now Natalie, our Rebbitzin from Jerusalem. Tamara and Yaakov, the mayor and mayoress of Ramat Beit Shemesh. Shmuel Leib and Esther Malka from Ramat Beit Shemesh. And the punk rockers from Emek Rephaim. Daniel Akakoni, Lee, the voice and yoga expert. Ellie, that's Ellie Israel. CB, Chaya Brocha Yerushalayim. Batsi, that's Batya Rivka. And Tovalea, also known as Tontarina, the Screamer. Thank you, kids, for making the trip and being here with me. It's very special for all of us to be here today in Sydney, which happened because of Sylvia and her determination, plus ours on the phone to the airlines. And we've had a great time with them all. I'm especially fortunate to have brother Barry and his wife Gyula here from Melbourne. Barry, who still thinks he can beat me at tennis. We have grown up together and share a special relationship. We recently went on a Tahitian cruise in October for some 10 days. Even though we live in different cities, I thought we got on brilliantly. It's great that I can pick up the phone several times a week and discuss heart-to-heart matters with him anytime. I want to take this opportunity to thank my special friends who came from far and wide, especially New Zealand. I'm lucky to have special friends with whom I feel very close with. Thank you to Sid and Suzanne Schusterman from Auckland. Sid, who tried so hard to beat me at table tennis in Lyle Bay in Wellington as a young upstart. And Suzanne, his lovely wife, who manages to keep herself attractive year after year. Ernie Rosenthal from Wellington, who joined me on Guy Fawkes Night at Seatoon Beach in 1955. He still wants my firecrackers. He's single now, but has had so much on the side he walks with a limp. Ronnie Brawl and Pam from Auckland. Ronnie, whose sense of humour hasn't diminished. He was at Hubbernem Camp Marlborough in 1960 and gave me some solid girl-boy advice. There he was rolling around on the grass with another female in a freshly cow-evacuated paddock. Nothing seemed to faze him. David Cameron from Seatoon Primary School, now Wanganui. You all know and have heard about this remarkable Kiwi friend of mine. It would be hard to describe the fantastic times trekking and camping in the remotest parts of New Zealand. Thank you, Dave. My niece Sivan from Melbourne, who earned her doctorate from Johns Hopkins University in the United States. We're all very proud of your achievements. Welcome to my first cousin's daughter, Alyssa, from London, who is presently touring down under. We are very happy to meet you with you as you spend a year in Sydney. Sandy and Lou Myers from Melbourne. Lewis, an old but faithful golf tragic. Peter and Carol Emanuel from Tutakaka. I had the privilege of partnering his wife, Carol, at a debutante ball at the Majestic Cabaret in 1957. It was a great night. For a girl who was studying law, she didn't put up much of a defence. age is like everything else. To make a success of it, you have to start young. Now, Sylvia told me the secret of staying young is to live honestly, eat slowly, treat her nicely on Friday night, and lie about your age. Unfortunately, I can't lie about it any longer. But seriously, 70 is a great milestone. You've all heard about it, Meals on Wheels, the charity shop, tennis, early morning walks, gym, bridge, travelling, and looking after our little pet dog, Monty. 70. Do you realise what that means? I'm finally catching up with my IQ. But seriously, looking back over the years, there is one standout I have to acknowledge. And the thing that I'm proudest of most of all is the Jewish continuity in seeing my kids growing up and prospering in Israel. Many people ask me, how did it happen that all three became so religious and settled in Jerusalem? The truth is, I can't give any definite answer, but I'm so proud that they made this choice, and I can and do support them 100%. We get pleasure in visiting them and seeing them develop and grow. As a young Habonimnik in Wellington, New Zealand, and fully involved with a small but vibrant community, little did I know how things would work out. We made the move back to Sydney to give our kids a fuller Jewish life and education, and they have taken the reins and moved it to the next level. Sylvia